you can't niba?
So you pretty much flow with the goal.
I come to the right place now.
Post Rolls Jiu Jitsu Podcast.
All right, welcome back to the Post Rolls Podcast with Miles and Nick. And we got in the studio today, we got Sergio.
Yes, I am here.
Welcome.
So let's get right down to it, Sergio. So you're obviously half African American. You have light skinned eyes. You have blue eyes. So
this is all wrong. I'm not at any of those.
He's got green eyes for sure.
So do women just throw themselves at you or kind of liquefy in front of you? Or how does that happen?
That's what we're getting at. No. Everyone assumes that, but you know when you look this good, it scares them away. That's true. That's what it is.
I second that.
Makes someone nervous.
Sergio was also recently married.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I'm off the market now.
Dang. All right.
It feels good. It feels good being off the market.
You feel like you won the game?
Yeah, won the game, exactly. Don't have to deal with that bullshit no more. I don't know if you guys curse on this podcast or not.
Oh, yeah, we do. I was listening to you guys roll, and you were talking about going light or something like that. You said something like...
Well, we thought I was going to go light because this is my first time back in... I feel like it's been 7 months. I haven't rolled since last May. Because I got injured and then I was doing the whole physical therapy thing and then I just got lazy and then just a combination of everything.
But you said something about like, you're really handsome, so I thought you were gonna roll fast, or something like that. I was just like, what?
Oh, if they're fast and handsome, you make sure you beat them down or something.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah, something
go hard.
Right, goes hard.
Right.
You're winning too much in life. Now I gotta put you down.
That's right.
I gotta humble you some. Well, congrats on the wedding. That's pretty cool.
Oh, thanks. Thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah. I don't know
So
how to say about it, but we just had a really courthouse wedding. Didn't want to spend $1 million, keep it small, but working out great.
How far along is she?
What? No. No.
Okay, sorry.
No, we want to travel some more first before we get to that. But we did get a dog though, so our puppy. He's like a baby. Has the shits right now, actually.
I don't know if you know this, but people that have kids don't like to hear that.
Oh, well. Suck it up. No, I'm
when
sure
people
it's
go like,
nothing
no,
like
I don't
that.
have kids, I have a dog. Everybody that has kids is like, shut the fuck up.
Shut the fuck up. No, I'm sure it's nothing like that, but still, baby steps.
Yeah. Dude, I mean, when you have a dog, you don't even have to talk to that thing.
Oh, no.
You could just set food outside, leave it out there, and...
You could, but then you have a shitty dog. I don't know. I want a well-behaved dog. I'm trying to get him, I already got him trained enough so he gets, his service-level dog stuff or whatever. But, yeah. I mean, I know it's nothing like having a kid. I used to live with my cousin when she had her first kid for his whole first year of his life, crying in the middle of the night and stuff like that. But
yeah.
Our dog be having issues too. We can get up in the middle of the night. I'm like, you're supposed to be way easier this, bro. What are you doing? You're a dog. Why are you
Dog's crying
so much? Yeah, he's like, let me out. I'm like, jeez.
What kind of dog is it?
He's mixed with a cattle dog and something else. But
all right.
Yeah, he was easier when he was younger. Now he found his voice and he's just yappy.
Are you still in the same condo?
No, I'm in Claremont now, and we got a little townhome, way more space, but we still don't have a yard. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Did you buy a townhome?
No, we didn't buy it. We're renting right now. I want to buy one, but gotta get finances in order first. Right now, I'm renting out my other condo.
Right, you Airbnb
it? Yeah, that one I own and I Airbnb it out.
Does the income of the Airbnb? Oh no,
I make profit.
Do you? Is your condo paid off?
No. So I still pay my mortgage,
but
then I get a little on top of it from Airbnb renting it out because I rent it out more than I.
Then you take in more than you're sending out.
For sure.
Oh, okay.
Because it's all vacation. They're here on vacation, so.
Right. Where's where you're at? He's in PB. Mm-hmm. Or that place.
Oh,
yeah. Yep. Pacific Beach, right there.
Dang.
It's like a 6-minute walk to Tourmaline Beach.
How long ago did you get that?
It's 3 years now.
Oh, really? That's it?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
It's been great, but recently we had someone move in who I guess he's he's an owner, but he had been gone for the last 3 years since I've been there. but he's a problem owner, I guess. Like the HOA has issues with him. Maybe he has like mental health issues or something. Manic episodes where he's like banging on the walls and cursing and stuff like that.
Shit.
So most recently, just my last person was complaining that like, oh, they couldn't sleep at night or whatever. And like this is my first time ever hearing about anything like this. I'm like, what's going on?
Do you like share a wall with this guy, or you've heard of?
I do. I share a wall with him, unfortunately.
shit.
And I didn't know about this, but apparently the previous owner did know about it and didn't disclose it or whatever. But maybe they thought they got rid of him because, like I said, he was gone when I moved in.
Hey, you said your dog found his voice, so he's barking all the time, and it's rough. We found a collar that it doesn't shock them, but it has two prongs,
like a little
and it beeps and it vibrates.
Yeah,
so
when they bark,
like, huh? Like, it just gets their attention.
They get kind of like confused. They're like, "What was that?"
we used that for my little rat dog that I had, and it worked.
Yeah,
so it was awesome. You could set it to shock.
Oh, really?
So, and then you could also
ours
set
doesn't
it so
shock.
that the first time it just beeps, and then the second time it would vibrate, third one it would shock.
That's awesome.
He's
and
not too
it
bad
worked.
though. Like it's like a double-edged sword because like sometimes we like it because like, oh, he's warning us that something's there, but then other times like, bro, chill out. like they're fine. Those people are not gonna hurt us.
Yeah.
And then
It was funny when we had that, dude. It was like, because it would always beep first, right? So when you first put it on them, it would you set it to the shock version. It's very minor. It's like licking a 9-volt battery.
Ooh, you felt it?
Yeah, it's not bad. But if you're a dog and you don't expect it, it's just it's shocking.
Yeah, it just surprises you.
Right, yeah.
No, my older brother, he got the just vibrate ones or whatever, and those two, like I was like, how is this gonna feel? Because he like let's try it. It was just like, oh, and it doesn't hurt at all.
It just surprises you. But it would be funny because it would be sometimes they would be off of them because we only put on them when we weren't home because in our apartment we were getting complaints. But then they'd be off, and maybe they would like they were not on the dog, but they were turned on. You know what I mean? Like they'd be in the closet.
Yeah.
But we forgot to power them off. And then somebody would laugh loud or something, and the thing would go beep, 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 and the dogs would all just start frantically going, oh, no!
Not again.
I didn't do it, I swear.
PTSD right here.
My dog's gotten to the point where he knows if he's done something wrong, he automatically walks to his little place, his cage or whatever, and like
really?
goes
That's
inside
cool.
and lays down. I'm like, yeah, you know you fucked up. Like I don't have to say nothing now. I just point at it. What is this? And he's like, all right, and he just walks away and goes to his cage.
I know where this
Dogs
is
are
going.
awesome.
So I occasionally, Miles knows this already, but occasionally I just, so we recorded 4 episodes that are in the air. They're gone. Yeah.
Just gone? Oh,
so occasionally I'm going to check to make to
sure
see
it's
that
recording.
everything's still going. So just, I'm listening to you.
Okay.
You don't have to like pause and like wait for me to finish. Just keep talking to me.
No, you're good.
I just want to make sure. I tell Miles like take it as a compliment because it's like almost like I'm saying this is so captivating. I need to make sure that that we got
That it's
this
still recording.
Yeah.
So I think a goal today is to come up with some of the things that we're going to use in the intro. Is that okay.
Well, I think the knee bar one is great, and I think that the white belt that needs to give up is great. Oh, I wanted to share with you a fun fact.
Okay.
The Joe Rogan intro, where what is it? Something
Train by day,
Joe Rogan podcast
by night,
Yeah.
all day.
That is,
Which makes no sense.
that is not Nick or Nate Diaz.
I'll violently
Rory
disagree
McDonald
with
or
you.
something?
I
Who is it?
Josh Thompson.
Josh Thompson?
Josh Thompson might have been the other dude that's in there because there's 2 people in there doing it. There's another one in there who says,
Wait, what do you mean? There's 2 people in there.
There's 2 podcast promotions in that intro, and there's another guy, and I thought it was Big Country, but I think it's Josh Thompson that goes, Joe Rogan podcast, check it out.
Oh,
yeah, that's right.
That's the other guy.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Okay.
Was Rory McDonald not one of them? I don't know.
So Josh Thompson was on JRE like a good while ago, and he said something about like, oh man, it's great to finally be here. Like I'm in the intro. And so I always thought it sounds like Nate Diaz who says Joe Rogan podcast all day. And then he said that, and my mind was blown because I was like, I immediately went to that line. I was like, oh my god, that's not Nate Diaz or Nick Diaz is one of them, and it's Nate. Right, you're saying it's Nate?
It's Nate, yeah. And so Josh bit that because they were already using Nate. And then Josh said that because he had heard it. He had just like, that seemed like the thing you do after you win a good fight and you're about to talk to Joe, like, check out the podcast,
Oh, really?
Yeah. Because I remember when they added that one in too. Because I remember when he said it I'm like, oh, he dropped him. I like saw it live, and then of course the next day it was in the intro.
Okay.
I'm a Joe Rogan podcast fan. I've been watching since Ustream. Yeah, back in the day.
I had a few years where I was consistent listening to it, but I kind of fell off this past year.
I mean, it's a full-time job if you were
it's pumping them out.
Yeah, you better not be listening to everyone. You're a piece of shit if you are.
Through them. Well, I thought I was gonna drop a fact on you, and
well, so we've been cycling through. I'm cycling through jiu-jitsu history and like cool stuff that's happened, so that we could take sound clips because we're gonna make the intro. And one of my favorite jiu-jitsu history things is when Renzo Gracie got robbed. And you haven't heard this story, right? No, and you haven't heard this story. I think maybe it'll come back because it surprised me you haven't, but it was incredible. So this is there was a lot of Twitter action happening at the time, and near Renzo's gyms in New York, they were robbing people. But in New York, it's like a serious business if you have a weapon. So what they would do is people that were drunk, they would be usually walking with their hands in their pockets because it's cold, and one big guy would come over and make you keep your hands in your pocket, and somebody else would just feel you up and take your wallet. And so Renzo says that I don't think he said that he's going to go out looking for these guys, but he knew it was happening around his gym, and he's old school and so he knows the guys probably don't have a weapon because that's going to be in big trouble. So he's ready to go out there and take care of business around the gym. And so he says he tweets, I see a couple of guys, that look like the guys that have been robbing around the gym. I'm going to act drunk. And so he's literally gives you a play-by-play tweet of what's going on. And so he's
tweeting this?
Yes. And so he starts acting drunk. He starts walking around acting drunk. And sure enough, they try and rob him. And so he beats this. He whatever. One guy does something, whatever, and he knocks that guy out, and the other guy goes running. And so he literally stops to tweet this, and he says, I just got robbed. I knocked this guy out and I gave him raccoon eyes.
Okay.
Raccoon eyes is when either knocked him out or choked him out. But in Brazil, the old raccoon eyes is if you choke somebody, if you really hate someone, you choke them out and you just give a few hammer fists to both eyes. Oh, wow. So they get like wicked bad black eyes when they wake up. So he raccoon eyes this one guy, takes a photo of it, tweets that, and says, I'm going after the other guy. Oh my God. Goes after the other guy. The story is incredible. And then somebody somewhere put together all the tweets into the full story. But
where did you hear this podcast?
A legend.
Did he get the other guy too?
He got the other guy too, and he found the other guy.
Tweet and still find him.
Dude, what an absolute savage! And then his last tweet was like something about I love a good street fight, and I miss Brazil.
I wanted to find this really interesting. Did you see the video, or did you send it to me maybe, of Keenan talking about the parallels of American Jiu-Jitsu?
Yeah, I saw it. It's awesome. We can include that in there. We got to.
This is American Jiu-Jitsu. Hold on.
We got. So if you hear if you think of any clips, you're like, man, I love that clip. Send them my way.
Yeah, for sure.
Shoot me something.
One of my favorite quotes in MMA was by UL Romero. Okay. How he's talking about, if you believe in something or you want something, you got to go get it. Yeah. But it's always soured because his performance the next night was horrible.
He lost right after?
Yeah, he didn't do anything. He was just standing, staring at, I think it was Adesanya, like the whole fight, didn't do shit.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, man, you got me hyped off that quote. And then you don't do anything
after. Just don't come through.
I mean, the thing is I feel like what he discovered and a few people like after that is the way to beat Adesanya is to not do anything. Because honestly, that's what Adesanya does.
Likes to be a counter,
right? Yeah. So if you don't
give him nothing to counter, he's like,
right, yeah.
But I guess the way to beat him was having superior defense. Strickland with that, Philly shell style in their last fight. He waited for Adesanya, so he made Adesanya go, but he had the defense so that he was in the pocket to respond at the same time.
Yeah,
That's pretty good.
Totally. I'm looking for something that you remind me of, and I'm looking for this.
Pull it up, Jamie.
Okay, look.
Come on, Jaime.
Okay, look at this. So the Keenan Cornelius posted this video. I actually tried to play it, but I can't get sound to come out. So my computer must be hooked up to something that's making the sound. Anyways, listen to this. Len. So they call it Legion. Mm-hmm. He calls it American Jiu Jitsu.
Yeah.
And so in this post, he highlights, basically, he went in the Library of Congress and looked for newspaper articles that cite Brazilian Jiu Jitsu. Mm-hmm. And the most recent one was very recent. And then he went to American Jiu Jitsu, and there was 1892, 1904, wow. Way predating.
What?
And then look at this.
But was it a completely different art, though? Probably, no?
No, because listen. Okay, so I wish I could put sound on this. Okay, look, Len Lanius. Sounds like a made-up name, but originator of American Jiu-Jitsu and the author of this book is a living example of the value of physical training and of the efficiency of the system he teaches. Early in life, he developed himself from a sickly lad into one of the most noted athletes of two continents, holding a lightweight wrestling championship of the world for a number of years. During his career, he defeated antagonists of a much heavier weight class than that in which he was rated. It was in meeting these larger men he developed original methods of offense and defense that were gradually elaborated into systems of American Jiu-Jitsu. The success of these earlier experiments in a smaller man overcoming a larger by a scientific use of whatever strength he might possess. By a scientific use of whatever strength he might possess, encouraging Mr. Lanius to make a complete, thorough study of his work, which eventually reached the stage, blah, 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 it could be doing blah, 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 blah.
Did it have submissions and stuff, though, or is it wrestling?
So wrestling pre...
Of course.
50s, maybe? It was, before professional wrestling became works,
mm-hmm.
It was catch wrestling. That's all the wrestling was. Yeah, so it had submissions, and you could win by pin or you could win by submission and all that.
That's cool.
But his thing that he was trying to say is that story sounds pretty familiar.
yeah, it's true. It does sound pretty familiar.
There's only one problem with what his tactics were creating his American Jiu-Jitsu, was that he didn't have kids with all of his friends and family and
he maids.
And he
didn't breed an army.
That's right. So shout out to Helio Gracie, friend of the podcast, that would that created an army and got his message out there.
That's true.
So shame on Ken. Yeah. What was his name again?
Jake Shields was doing that too.
Len Lanius.
Len Lanius. And
sounds like a Marvel villain.
And Keenan Cornelius, that kind of sounds sort of similar too. I feel there's a little fishy things going on there, but
dude, I was listening to Tony Hawk has a great podcast.
Oh, does he?
And I've been listening to a lot of other podcasts that are outside of my regular interests.
Yeah, because
I want to figure out what makes a good podcast, and he's a really good one. And
with somebody, right? He's great.
He's with Jason Ellis.
Yeah.
Who's
Jason
an MMA
Ellis.
Fighter and professional skateboarder. Yeah.
That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like a couple of professional MMA fighters.
Okay. I didn't know that.
Or maybe even only amateur. Yeah.
Okay.
The name's familiar, but I'm not
sure. Oh, he's great. He's hilarious.
Yeah. One of my friends was supposed to fight him. And then.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he backed out. The other guy, Jason Ellis, backed out.
What were you going to say? What was that?
Oh, I was just saying, because you're talking about Keenan Cornelius and Len Lanius. It sounds like it's a pseudonym, like it's Keenan. He wrote a book. But Tony Hawk was saying that he was in a movie cast as like a skateboarder in something.
Was it Gleaming the Cube?
It wasn't. No. It was the one with Josh Brolin. It was Thrashing. Yeah. It's.
I don't know if I've seen that one.
I bet you've seen clips of it. I bet you have seen it. And you're like, oh yeah.
Okay.
But it's really bad. But Tony Hawk's character in there, his name was Tony Hanks.
Tony Hanks.
I didn't want to steer too far off.
Yeah. All right. So the kind of the theme of this podcast is that we don't really have a theme.
Cool.
We just talk about whatever comes up. So like kind of the idea being that we're just hanging out after jiu-jitsu. So we trained today. How's your shoulder feeling?
It's feeling all right now. It's it's always like hours later if anything happened or not. But I think I'm all right. I only felt one strain, and it wasn't even my bad shoulder. It was like the other one. So it's like, and it wasn't the shoulder itself. It's just like my traps. I think maybe I just didn't drink enough water or something. You know, something like that. Cramping up.
Are you doing like a routine for it?
I have a routine for my shoulder and scapula and stuff. It's mostly like, you know, the YTWs, like you just raise your you lay on your stomach and then you kind of like raise your arms in the YTW forms and stuff, and you kind of repeat that over and over again. And then I use bands a little bit, but I kind of got to a plateau where it's like now like it's not horrible, but it's not really getting any better either. It's just there's like this little lick that's always there. You
got to get back to jiu-jitsu.
Yeah,
that's what'll do it.
Yeah, I guess.
Honestly, like that's not. I mean, when I am recovering from something and I'll typically get to 80-90%. Or I won't, or like nothing. I'm not getting anywhere, and I go fuck it, and then I just train, and then I'm like better.
Totally, what happened to me too.
I know my flexibility does go up once I start doing jiu-jitsu. It's like you know, involuntary yoga. So
right. Your mobility, yoga. But then also like but also like your muscles, like that are supporting your shoulder, your strength goes up as well, and your stability. We were talking about that a couple of podcasts ago. We were talking about how if we tweak something, I mean, obviously, like if you have like a torn ACL or something, that's different. But
because it makes sense, because like if I stop training, which I did, because it was injury and then it became laziness too, and then like also it's my first year being married and we want to do stuff all the time, so I'm just like with her all the time. But I'm trying to get back to jiu-jitsu, obviously, because you're right, like the more you work your body a certain way, your body's gonna get used to it and adapt to it. If I'm just sitting around and learning cybersecurity and all day, like my shit's not getting worked, so it's not going to get any better than it is.
Especially if you're doing computer work too, that's not only is it not getting work, you're working against it.
It's like staying still all the time. Like I'm trying to implement this thing. I think Jim Stepani talked about it, where like every 30 minutes, just get up and do 1 minute of exercise, like set a timer.
Cool. Jim Stepani?
Yeah, he's like a bodybuilding fitness guy or whatever. I love his supplements.
Sounds like a pseudonym for Gwen Stefani.
Gwen Stefani. Just get up and do like some dancing. Yeah. Pull your shirt up and just get it.
There you go. But yeah, like, so if I'm working, I try to just have an alarm like every 30 minutes and just get up and do like a minute of jumpy jacks or something, or jump rope or whatever.
I used to do that too when I briefly did have an office job. I would just every so often I would get up and I would just walk. I would just circle the office for 60 seconds and sit back down.
Yeah.
Do you have a standing desk?
Yeah. So, well, it's not a standing desk, but I bought like the thing you put on the desk and you can raise it up or whatever. So same concept.
So pretentious.
Bougie.
You need to stand while you do yours and hold your laptop up for you. Bunch of.
Well, dude, now they have treadmill desks.
Yeah, I've seen those.
I saw it at Google.
Seen those,
it seems so hard to
walk and then
type
at
quickly.
The same time.
Like while you're moving around.
I mean, you're not jogging.
What?
It's a slow walk.
I wonder if that would give me like motion sickness.
Not the way I do it.
Yeah. just filling your keyboards up with sweat. Getting this done though. 2-finger typing hard.
Yeah. But that's good. I suppose that should be better.
Yeah, but it's just a matter of keeping it up. And then I don't know. I admire you because like you went the route and you got your own gym and everything like that. Obviously, I never got to black belt, so I can't do jiu-jitsu or nothing like that. But
I was a brown belt when I opened the gym, so no excuses.
Yeah, no excuses.
Sure was. I couldn't believe it.
No, like I admire that because like I'm always just trying to find like how do I just support myself? Like like I got into cybersecurity now and I'm doing it. Well, not like working it, but I'm still studying and doing like practice exams and all that. And I'm like, this shit sucks, bro. like
Does it?
I don't want to like be on my computer and setting security settings for companies all day. Like the lifestyle of it. Like the money would be great. That's why I went because I wanted a remote job where I could do anywhere in the world and then whatever. So it makes sense and I'm still pursuing it. But at the same time, like why can't I just do martial arts and like coach or something? I don't know.
I think it'll be good though. I have a friend that got into it like kind of pretty late in life and just absolutely nailed it and loves it and just had a couple of small jobs in the beginning, but then got a pretty big job and then now it's still it's at home.
Yeah. You just keep that work-life balance and I'm sure it would still be great.
Yeah, you got. I mean, he works out of one of the rooms in his house and it's got a bed in there and like a pull-up bar.
Yeah,
just you get your stuff done and you'll have to travel maybe a little bit, but I think it's a great. Cybersecurity is got to be a booming industry that is going nowhere.
My older brother is the one who got me into it.
Really?
Because he's into like all cloud infrastructure and all that stuff. He's been doing it for a long time though, and then he has a cybersecurity team under him.
He's probably killing it.
Yeah. He complains about the cybersecurity guys though, because he like he knows more than they do. You know?
Right.
He's like, you guys are supposed to know this already. Blah, blah, blah. But he was telling me, he's like, hey, well, once you get your certs or whatever, hit me up, and I'll get you in there. So I was like, all right.
Oh man, that latest Snowden movie. Did you see the latest one on Netflix?
They made a new one?
Yeah, there's a second one out. There was one, and the one super cool actor,
Joseph Gordon-Levitt?
Yes.
I don't know why I knew that so far.
How did you know that? Yeah.
He's a great actor. I didn't know that.
It's incredible though, man. It's
so
incredible.
is it a retell of the same story, or is it like?
But way more captivating because I could barely. I'm like a massive.
The first one was pretty good.
Snowden fan, and just love what he did. But I didn't, the story was not as captivating as this. Like this really walked you through it and
Dramatize it to him.
Yeah, just how he went through that period of like. Man, he really wanted to help and be the person doing the right thing, and then he sees like, what? Like you can just tap into these and turn off the light and just look at anybody doing anything. He was like, "Are we sure that's like you're supposed to be able to do that?" And they're just like, "Yeah, no, we just do that though." What? Like, I mean, shouldn't we know?
Yeah.
Dude, I get the argument, and I guess I have to agree.
Yeah.
That it's not good, but also I don't care.
No, fair enough.
There's like a certain level, like, what am I going to do about
because
this?
you kind of know now, because we always kind of thought that was the case.
Yeah,
but did you? But when it was just a rumor, it wasn't a rumor. They could literally pop on your phone, on that camera, and watch you and record you and find out anything.
I don't care though, but I understand that.
Right, but it's
I
not
understand
for
the
you.
argument is that because I understand is like, well, it's you don't I don't care, but it starts there, right? And if there's no line of privacy, I get that.
Yeah. What do you get? You're gonna blow up obviously because of your work ethic, and so at one point you're gonna care. You're gonna be doing international deals and shit. And like,
the funnest thing I did in my cybersecurity class, like we're doing labs and stuff, is like I learned how to do basically in the Matrix. When in the first one when he's on his computer and then just opens up and says hello Neo, and like Trinity's like speaking to him through the laptop. Like,
it's been a long time.
Oh,
dang.
what? Oh, well,
the first connection that they make.
I learned how to do that. Like you hack into somebody else's laptop and you can like pop up a messenger and just like.
Oh really?
I was like,
this is dope. I do remember. Yeah, I do remember.
That's the only thing I like. But that's ethical hacking, which is separate from Security Plus, which is what I'm doing right now. So I'm like, I don't know.
Ethical hacking is pretty interesting.
But yeah, it's more fun. It's the only fun thing I had in that entire because I learned a lot of everything.
Yeah,
like Security Plus and Cisco networking and all this and that, but the ethical hacking was the most fun thing I did.
Super fun. Yeah. So I just saw this again today, and because you bring it up, did you know? You probably did, but the Terminator was the prequel to the Matrix. Well, all written by the same lady.
What?
Yes, 100%.
I saw that on Instagram or whatever. The lady talking about this and that. I'm like, written, but that's so news to me because I thought the Wachowskis wrote The Matrix. They didn't write it.
Okay, so I didn't dig into I've just only seen that clip.
I don't know, I don't know for sure.
An Instagram reel, and now it's fact.
Now it's fact. So,
100%.
Yeah, because one of my friends shared that, but he's like, he's a. What do they call them? People. But the story. Conspiracy theorists. Like he loves all conspiracies. Yeah. So I'm like, is this real? Did she write both? I'm confused. Like I thought those directors wrote those
is that a fan theory?
Yeah.
Or I don't know.
It was like an interview of some lady.
Oh, the author. She said, I wrote both these?
Yes. And she looks honest.
Well.
But I mean, maybe they rewrote the story, but it was like her original story or something. Maybe. It makes a lot of sense, though, doesn't it? It makes perfect sense.
Even when The Matrix came out, I'm sure a lot of people made that connection where it's like it could be. They didn't think it was directly connected, but like, oh, this is like happened in the Terminator almost.
And I've never seen The Matrix all the way through.
What the?
All the way through?
I've started it many times.
Get out of here!
Not many times.
Did you make it?
That's
to
not
the,
true.
The womb?
I've started it twice.
Did you make it to the womb? When he's a battery? If you didn't make it to that,
I've seen that scene, and I can't recall if I love the Matrix. It's
like the greatest shit ever.
Yeah. So I watched it first when I was like very young. When did it come out? 1998.
something like that, 99 maybe.
Yeah. So I would have been 9 years old. So as a 9-year-old, I was like, I didn't get it. Like I wasn't following the story. It was really confusing.
Right. Okay.
And I was like, I think I was watching it with my grandma, and so we were on both ends of the spectrum. Both of us were like, I don't get it.
My mom hated it. Like, she's too weird for her, and like like that scene, the pod scene when he like is birthed again or whatever.
Yeah.
Like that was too weird for her. She's like, this is, I don't know.
Yeah,
But,
so she was like really old and I'm really young, and neither of us were. We were both confused. We were like, let's put on Thumbelina.
no, I love. But there's so many there's Bruce Lee quotes, Buddhist quotes throughout that movie. Like
I bet if you watched it again, you'd
Yeah,
like it.
I will. I will watch it again. And then I tried to watch it again recently as an adult, and I just no, but I didn't fall asleep because I was bored. I just started it really late, and it was just a really long day, and I just fell asleep. And I put my blue blockers on, and it just I go out. Can you do me a favor? My Zevia is behind you.
Oh yeah.
You might have to take your headphones off.
I got into it pretty late. Like I was a few years out because I was like, I'm not about the hype, and there was so much hype around it. I'm like, no thanks. But when I did see it,
are you one of those people that anytime something is universally loved, you're like, nah,
100%, no way.
It's like a little hipster.
Yeah, I'm not into that.
That was me in The Notebook. But then I watched it. I'm like, this is a great movie. I'm never watching it again.
I watched it. I think my girlfriend in high school eventually forced me to watch it, and I was like,
it's so good.
You're a bird, I'm a bird.
I was like, why do people like being sad? I don't ever want to watch this again. It's so good, but I don't want to ever see it again.
Yeah.
No, but The Matrix did it to me, man. I was so in it hardcore after, and I was like resisting it. Mm-hmm. But then when he rebirths, I'm like, oh my God, it's all real. But I think actually the Terminator then is I think the Matrix is the prequel to the Terminator, and what the machines do is because the humans are coming back. Right, the humans are fighting back in the Matrix.
Wait, which one is the prequel?
Terminator has to be the prequel.
They go back.
Oh, back in time. It's the
machines going back in time.
Oh, true.
I think I watched that today because it was a little weird.
I guess that makes sense.
I mean,
so the Matrix happens first
in the story that she wrote. I think,
and then I guess Neo starts winning. Humans are coming back, so machines send their machine to the past.
Yeah.
Like
in the Terminator,
I take it back because Sarah Connor is John
Neo's mom or something.
Neo's mom, but wait a minute, John Connor.
I thought Sarah Connor was John Connor's mom.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. What? And she said that it's the rebirth of Christ. It's the coming back of Christ. JC, John Connor.
That's funny.
I'm gonna look this up.
I know.
I don't know. I don't know if it's directly connected. I'm sure you can make all kinds of connections. They're definitely in the same field.
Well, listen.
AI taking over.
I mean, it's guaranteed.
I think, how Elon Musk has constantly been warning against AI, this and that, and then now recently one of his robots attacked somebody. Did you see that in news?
No.
Yeah, really? One of his robots attacked. But I'm half there thinking, Elon probably programmed that himself. Because he wants people to
that's what I've been trying to tell y'all.
Worrying about, like an inside job. He wants people to worry about the AI robots.
Sarah Connor is Neo's mother. The Terminator and the Matrix linked. This is a 1 minute short.
How? Let me
see if I can get some sound.
But then what about John?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So John is Neo? I'm confused.
John is Jesus, and then Neo's
also Jesus.
Jesus' little brother.
Cross thing going in and I was so disappointed when they came out with the fourth Matrix a couple years ago. Oh man,
really? I haven't seen it.
Yeah, I was hyped and then severely disappointed.
Sorry.
This is it. This is her.
I'm trying to start over.
The Matrix is in the future.
It's weird watching shorts on your desktop.
Future.
Yeah, there it is.
Now, it's one thing to have the idea.
Well, who is this lady, though?
Oh, shh. It was a script in a book. The Terminator is the prequels to the beginning of the Matrix.
Okay.
Sarah Connor is actually Neo's mother. So JC, John Connor's Jesus Christ, grows up to be Neo, one and the same in the Matrix. Oh. The Matrix is in the future. The Terminator is the past. It's time travel. Past, present, and future time travel. It's the second coming of the Christ. The evolutions of consciousness, man versus the machine. So the machines, the Terminator machines, hear that a child
I don't believe it anymore.
That's going to terminate them in the future when they oppress man.
This says Sophia Stewart,
Man versus the machine.
the writer
God's children
of The Matrix
versus man's
and
children, which
The
was
Terminator.
I don't know if that's true. Like, I don't know. Like,
I'm looking at this lady. You said she looks stressful. I'm looking at this lady and she looks crazy.
Oh,
yeah,
fair
I don't know
enough.
if I believe all that. Doesn't make that much sense.
Sophia.
So is Neo the second coming of John Connor? If that's in the future,
Yeah, that doesn't make sense.
I don't know. Like,
yeah,
I think that's what they're saying.
That's
They're
what
saying
they're
is
trying to
that
say.
they're the same person,
Yeah.
Neo and John Connor.
I don't like it anymore.
Sophia Stewart. Books. Okay, so they were books.
All right, so
They were both books? They were both books? Author of The Third Eye. Okay, so I trust her less now.
do you?
She's into the third eye.
she probably wrote
You don't believe
something
in third
similar,
eyes?
and then she's like, "Those directors took my
Crocodiles
books,
have third
stories."
eyes.
I don't know.
Wait, what?
Crocodiles have third eyes. Third eyes are real.
Explain further.
They have like crocodiles have a cornea and they have some sort of like lid, but you don't see it. It's in their brain, so they're like they can show you the sort of the evolution of a third eye.
Interesting.
As far as I understand.
Okay, so this says The Third Eye, Sophia Stewart's epic story that was purportedly stolen and used to create two of Hollywood's biggest franchises, The Matrix and The Terminator. So she wrote this book, The Third Eye.
It was probably about AI taking over.
Yeah, and I think she's claiming that they stole her story to make two books, to make two
Yeah.
movie series.
They're pretty good movies. Good
I
work.
think she's the first one to write a story about AI taking over, robots taking over the world, machines.
What was her name again?
Sophia Stewart.
Shout out to Sophia Stewart, friend of the podcast.
Friend of the podcast.
Yeah, I don't see any. There's no like.
Okay, fair enough. Maybe we should move on.
Don't believe everything you see on Instagram Reels, kids.
Fine.
The world's crazy with misinformation now.
Oh, that's true.
My favorite was yesterday. Somebody, some portly gentleman was talking about recovery, and he said that ice baths are bad because it will make you over recovered.
Right,
Like,
right.
oh, how awful
And
must
now
that feel?
you'll always have to do them.
Yeah, like,
I don't know if that works that way.
no, sir.
He makes it sound like it's steroids or something. Like, oh, you're taking steroids, so your hormones stop producing this, and now you gotta have steroids forever.
Yeah, yeah.
He's
does.
making the same type of relation with ice baths, and I don't think that's how that works.
What was he basing that off of? Did you dig into that at all, or you just make fun of him?
I watched a few other things of his, and yeah, he just takes hard statements at things that he thinks, and then I had to delete all the messages.
He was just going off of his feelings.
Yeah, he goes off his feelings a lot, and he said my favorite was I asked him about this on his Instagram. He said,
You messaged him
I did, because he said that
publicly or DM?
no, publicly. He
Nice.
said something was measurable. He said that recovery. Did he say recovery was measurable? And I was like, how do you measure that? And then he was like, well, I guess it's just like, he literally said, I guess this way and that way. And I'm like, that's not measuring. And then I had to take time and
It's gotta
delete.
be subjective, right? like, how good do you feel after this?
Yeah, that's not measuring.
Can you measure recovery based on like there's some sort of inflammation markers,
Well, I know people use,
cortisol
like-
level in your blood?
Yeah, that HRVs maybe.
Right, deep
like that.
stuff. Like, right. That's how he. But I don't even want to say it was a recovery. No, it was just what we were saying. Have you been over recovered? What else did he say?
So he was saying that it lowers your capacity for stress, which doesn't make any sense because
It creates
the concept of the ice bath thing is like it's like acute stress,
Right.
right? Isn't that how it works? Like
Sure.
it's acute stress that triggers your
Adrenals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, so it kind of like your body kind of over responds and goes, whoa, hold on, let's bring everything down, right?
Yeah.
So he's saying that like, so the whole like, yeah, you're going to lower your, if anyone's been in an ice bath, no one's being like, well, this is going to lower my capacity to be for stress. Right?
No,
It's like,
not
it's the
at all.
opposite of that. It's like, at least that's how it feels for me. Because someone that doesn't do it as much as you do. Does it still give you stress? It stresses like
Yeah, 100%.
Oh, it does?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it does. But you know the you're gonna be good. So it can be easier and easier.
Dude, my cold shower just before this, after we trained, it was a rough one.
Was it?
Because it was cold today, man.
It was cold
for California.
It was.
Yeah,
it was in the 40s. The groundwater is in the 40s.
Yeah, it was a
nice one. But I'm mad at that guy because it took me so long to clear all my DMs about reposting him and just what horrible shape he's in. And like everyone was like, that's like, my favorite one was, my friend was like, that's like your cardiologist who smokes telling you not to smoke.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know. Everybody's trying to make their inflammatory, no pun intended, their inflammatory like statement.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Say something that'll get views. Even if he does believe it, like, I don't know. Those are the people that get popular. Sometimes they just shout whatever they believe, and no matter what it is, someone else is going to believe it and it'll blow up too.
Do you ever get like YouTube shorts? It's probably because I just fucking veg out and binge them so much that YouTube like literally runs out of shorts to show me.
No.
But like every once in a while I'll get like nobody, like some person with literally 0 subscribers.
Wow.
And
so you've reached the end.
It was just like, this is all we got left.
This is what this guy thinks.
So with like 0 subscribers, with some random, like it might be like a grandma posting a video of her like dog on YouTube Shorts or whatever, and I'm like, why am I looking at this? Why is this on my feed?
That's respect. Way to get so deep.
So I saw this one where it was like this guy that he had he had like 50, 60 subscribers, but all he did was just like react more or less to big podcast clips and just shit on them, you know. It's like, but like not even with any sort of reason. It was just like it was like I think the one that I saw was like him. His like he's the top screen and the bottom screen is Andrew Schultz's podcast, and he was like, "This." I can't even repeat it. Yeah, it was racial. You know?
Okay.
And yeah.
Whoa.
Actually, is Andrew Schultz Jewish? Well, this guy thought he was. So,
Okay. Yeah. I'm sure.
according to his comments, he thought he was. And like that whole. That doesn't matter.
Did you see?
But it was weird.
For latest news, did you see Cat Williams' latest podcast?
I saw parts of it. My cousin was going crazy over it.
When he was shitting on that one lady.
Well, he's shitting on everybody.
Everybody.
He had a long pod, or was it podcast or just an interview? I don't know. It was a long interview.
Podcast. This is
Shannon Sharp.
Yeah,
it was with him.
2 hours,
and they talked
almost
about
3
a bunch
hours
of stuff. Like, and he was just giving dirt on like so many other comedians and
I didn't see that.
Hollywood and.
This is not the one where he was. There was a lady, like a chick on there.
Oh
no! That was the Wanda Sykes one. But no, this came out 3 days ago.
Was that Wanda Sykes?
And it's got 33 million views already.
Mm-hmm.
It's
really?
like I've never seen.
What's he saying?
Anything?
Like what kind of dirt?
He's talking shit on everyone.
Yeah, he's talking shit on the Kings of Comedy guys.
Yeah, talking shit on Kevin Hart.
Talking shit on Kevin Hart.
All kinds of people.
Just talk a little shit about Rogan. He said.
Did he talk shit about Rogan too?
He did. Yeah, I watched the whole thing. I couldn't get enough. I'm a massive Cat Williams fan. And he said, and he was like, I'd never be on Rogan's podcast. He's pushing out 6 comics that ain't never been funny.
That was not a bad Cat Williams.
Thank you.
That's a pretty good impersonation.
Cat Williams is good, but didn't he kind of fucking?
I just remember him getting beat up by a kid.
Yeah.
On the radio one time. But then I know in the interview he's talking about he's never been on drugs, never been on this and that. I'm like, well, you just have a certain personality then because you've been in some shit.
That's surprised us all.
Yeah.
No, I think he's. I mean, because I listened to the whole thing because I was just enthralled last night when I was shopping and stuff, and I think he gets manic like Kanye does. I think Cat now, especially listening to that podcast, I think he is an absolute genius for sure. For sure. Like he was like, if you listen to it, he was some wild school when he was really young. And he reads just a ton. But I think he gets manic, and I think what he's saying he thinks is true, and there's probably like a lot of element of truth to it. But then,
everyone has their
goes
other.
off.
What he said about Joe Rogan is definitely true, right?
I was trying to figure out what 6 comedians he's talking about, but then actually right after he said that,
Brendan Schaub.
Print Shop's not funny at all.
No,
dude,
dude.
not at all.
And he freaking sells out theaters just basically because
don't
he's
get
Joe
it.
Rogan's friend. Yeah,
Yeah, that's weird.
dude, his he puts out specials and they're bad.
Yeah.
Bad.
I don't think I've ever seen one of
like
those
like
specials.
open mic night quality laughs.
they?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Real
I've definitely
my
seen
God.
funnier people.
You
at
hate on
my
Brendan
local
Schaub.
comedians.
I dislike him a lot.
That's your nemesis.
He is my nemesis, actually. Yeah, we have like opposite viewpoints on everything about life.
Yeah, I've listened to a few of his podcasts,
I'm not
like
joking.
with Rogan, and I never like anything he says. I'm like,
No.
so anytime
Who?
he's
Rogan?
on, no, Schaub.
Schaub.
Anytime
Oh, really?
Schaub is on there, like I just skip that interview. I'm like, all right, I'm not watching this one.
Yeah.
like Schaub,
I love it.
Schaub never says anything. I like
The only time I like Schaub is when Eddie Bravo is also on there, and Schaub is like politely trying to steer Eddie away from the fucking weird shit rabbit hole that he's going down. That's the only time I'm like, thank you, Schaub.
Wow.
He just, dude, like, he what he is good at is he gets really funny co-hosts, right? Like he had the show with Theo Von, and he had the show with Chris D'Elia, and
Oh my God, that's right.
Theo
the
Von's wild.
who's the his best buddy was
I don't know.
Brian.
Callen, Brian
Oh,
Callen.
Brian
Callen,
Callen,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
right.
And
He's
he'll
great.
just kind of like say the same joke, you know, like Brian Callen will be like, "Oh, you know, blah blah blah, your mother," or whatever, you know, whatever the joke is, and then Schaub's just like, "Yeah, your mother." It's just like says the same shit.
That's the secret of negotiation.
Oh, yeah.
You say the last three words of the other person. You
Yeah.
ever seen The Negotiator?
Oh, the FBI guy with
Yeah.
the book, yeah.
With the wife who looks photoshopped?
What?
No.
Oh my God. You know who I'm talking about. The dude with the book?
Yeah,
you should
yeah.
See, you should see his wife. It doesn't look real. There's no picture of them together. And you're like, that doesn't make any sense.
There's no picture of them together.
Yeah, bunches of them. But it doesn't, it looks.
What'd you just say?
I swear, if
I'm
you look it up,
confused.
it does not make sense. She is insanely gorgeous. But he is just such a massive negotiator.
What's his
that
name?
he has got that.
He negotiated a marriage or
He
something?
negotiated an amazing companion.
What's his name?
It's on the tip of my tongue. Just look up The Negotiator is his handle on Instagram. And I'll be surprised if you disagree. I'm a huge fan of his, though.
Well, there's a movie called The Negotiator, so
Yeah, that's what
I
I was
got
expecting to
Kevin
come up.
Spacey.
It's Kevin Spacey. He's the negotiator.
Kevin Spacey doesn't even want a wife.
Kevin Spacey was such a great actor, but he went
was.
downhill. He had some stuff.
He did have stuff.
Did you guys look at the list of names that was revealed from?
No.
Yeah.
But I heard, like, even before it came out, people were making a big deal, like, the list is coming out, But I'm like,
Right.
I read before that, like, the list it's not going to be, like, the people that went to the island, right? Isn't it more like the workers that were there? And like,
No, it's
No.
well, it's a bunch of celebrities.
I heard it had
Oh,
like
is
people
it?
that were there. It even had the
But-
things that they were into, like
Okay.
what kind of
I might have read
sexual
the wrong
favors
one. I
that
didn't
they
follow it that
requested.
hard.
And things like
Yeah.
that.
Oh, really?
Someone told me
Wow.
that. This is just somebody at the gym was saying that Stephen Hawking's. Did you hear this?
yeah.
The
Oh,
thing
I
that he
know
was
where,
into?
yeah. Like short people
He
doing
he
math
wanted,
or something?
No, he wanted to get like little people, right? To be
Midgets?
Yeah, but we don't say that. I don't know.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, you get little people that were too short, and then to use the chalkboard.
Yeah.
And then they'd have to like try to do math problems on the chalkboard that they couldn't reach. And I'm like, is that him being like, you know, like feel my pain, bitch? Like, it's like I can't use the chalkboard either.
fucked up.
It's the main tool for my whole existence, and I can't use it.
Oh my goodness.
Andrew Schultz had a crazy bit about that one.
Yeah.
About him going there. Yeah. He was talking about him being an anarchist. And he was like, yeah, of course he's an anarchist. He's built like a puddle. It's like if you were built like a puddle, you wouldn't believe in God either.
Oh my gosh.
Chris Voss is his name.
Chris Voss, yes. Check out his wife. My goodness. I mean, all respect to him. Friend of the podcast, Chris Voss.
This just looks like he negotiated a great deal on plastic surgery.
Oh, no. I don't, well,
Yeah, I hate the plastic surgery movement.
I don't know.
She looks fake, for sure.
No, she doesn't even look real. She looks photoshopped into the picture. She looks that attractive. I think so.
I don't think
dude,
fake is
I mean-
attractive.
No,
What's
but
that?
she doesn't look fake. It's makeup-y. She looks very young, which he is old, and it looks like a lot of makeup. She doesn't look like...
Well, shout out to Leonardo DiCaprio. You know,
Just keep it.
23-year-old after 23-year-old. How old is he now?
Dang.
It's like his.
This girl looks super fake. She looks like plastic.
I don't think so. I think that's just makeup.
Definitely, there's a lot of makeup.
Yeah.
I don't like that look either.
Chris Voss, he didn't mean it. She's doing fine.
He didn't mean it. Chris Voss. Chris Voss, friend of the podcast. We're not talking shit.
Yeah. I mean, he upgraded for sure.
Oh yeah,
That's good. I don't know what he had before, but
No, I mean compared
to what he looks
himself.
like himself.
Yeah, yeah.
Gotcha.
there's a phrase for that.
Negotiation.
Yeah, he didn't split the difference on that one. For sure.
No, he didn't. He won negotiation. His stuff is super motivational though, and his tips and stuff too. Here, I'll give you guys one. This one's really cool. So if you point your finger, put both hands up. You point one finger, and then with the other hand you retract the finger and you put a thumb up, and then you switch. So finger, thumb, finger, thumb, finger, thumb, and you go back and forth. It's really hard to do.
Like this?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, and then you go back and forth.
Oh, wait, no.
Yeah,
it's kind of hard.
See how hard it is? It is kind of hard.
No,
So,
I got it. No, I didn't.
no, see? So what that is, I love this. What that is what does it feel like? Awkward. It feels very awkward to do that. It's a very simple thing. Of course you can do that, but then to go back and forth and to do it right is awkward. And so awkward is the creation of new synapses. So the only way to learn is to feel awkward at first. If you don't feel awkward at first, then you're not learning. Mm-hmm. So when you feel awkward at first, then you are creating these new synapses and developing from that awkwardness. So learning comes from awkwardness, and then that's how you eventually, if we practice it, we'd probably be able to get it in a few minutes or whatever, maybe 15 minutes or something. But I thought that's a very cool thing. It probably even transcends into jiu-jitsu. And you could say that like in a class, like if this feels awkward, sometimes have you been taught a move where you're just like, I can't get it. Like, I know you're telling me this is what it is, but I can't like make my body do that.
I've never been there.
That makes sense.
I don't know what you mean.
I mean, no.
I can do everything.
Well, it comes very easy to you, but the rest of us, I can't remember 3 steps to a move. I need like 2.5 steps, maybe 3, and if a move is 4 steps, I'm out of there. It's going to take me a year to remember that move.
I was telling Sergio because he came for class, and I was like, Miles doesn't come. He doesn't like to do moves, so he'll be here in 30 minutes.
I'm just for sparring.
It's just because I can't remember it. It makes me so awkward.
You know what we should? I want to. We had that conversation about ecological learning.
Ecological learning.
And we had it in the podcast that was never released.
Okay,
the unreleased podcast. Yeah. And then we're on opposite ends of the spectrum, so we should see what Sergio has to say.
What is this ecological learning?
So basically, ecological learning is, instead of me explaining like the philosophy of it in general, let me just explain how it applies to jiu-jitsu. Mm-hmm. There's no moves. You don't learn any moves.
Don't learn shit.
There's only live training. There's only live training, better. But you apply certain constraints to the situation and certain specific goals so that I will guide you to, or whoever the instructor is will guide you to discover these moves on your own. And the idea being that when you learn a move, you forget it anyways. Mm-hmm. And it's very hard to like go and apply it, which I would say is true for most people. Like, or I'm not even gonna say most people, but definitely some people, a lot of people, that it's hard to like learn a move and then remember that, in
the action.
Yeah.
Action.
Like in the live.
You always
scenario.
try to apply it in live after you learned it, right? Like that's
what I do.
That's what I try. I even got it on you today, but briefly.
Which what?
The tomahawk sweep or whatever.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
You were in the middle of the scramble. You didn't realize it. But I was like,
oh yeah. You kind of knocked me down to my hip.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't get on top that much, but I did get the sweep a little
nice.
bit.
Respect. Tell where that came from, though. That did you say it was Gordon Ryan's guys?
No.
No, who's doing the ecological training? And is it eco like echo like repeating?
No.
Logical.
Because I thought you were talking about like the
ecological,
like ecosystem.
Yeah.
Ecosystem.
I started talking about nature for a second. I was like,
Yeah. Well, it is.
So kind of like that.
Yeah. I don't know why it's called that. And again, like I don't have any understanding of like the broader like field of study, because apparently it's been around in sports for a long time. Where like, say if I was going to teach you how to play basketball, I wouldn't.
Sounds like some wrestling practice I've been to, where they just wrestle, and I'm like.
But it's not like go wrestle.
Oh,
but
okay.
it can be for wrestling, because it's so much simpler. There's just get on top and hold their shoulders to the mat. You know what I mean? Like so.
Burn on wrestling.
Not at all. I love wrestling just because. But the goals in wrestling are simple.
To pin.
There's only There's only 2 ways to win. You know what I mean? So. I mean, no, that's not true.
Yeah, I don't want to get into that debate with you.
but the majority of it, right, is score takedowns, even though there's escape points and this and that. But if you just know how to take people down and you know how to put their shoulders to the mat at a high school level, if you can do those 2 things, you're going to win. And then there's more to it as you get advanced, you know. Whereas jiu-jitsu, like, you can win with an arm bar. You can win with a kimura. You know, you can be chokes. It can be leg locks. It can be points. You can pull guard and win from the bottom. You know what I mean? Like, but basically, let's take an example of like, if I was going to teach you leg locks.
So like situational?
It's very specific situationals.
Oh, okay.
So like real specific. So if I was going to say, I was going to teach you leg locks, I would not teach you the steps. I would say, okay, you're going to start with this person standing over you, and your goal is to get both of your feet in between his legs. Now just go
and that's it.
Figure out how to do that. And then you do that. Like, all right, cool, we got that. All right, now we're going to like, you're going to start with your feet connected. Your goal is to bring a leg to you, and then, you know, and then like isolate one of the legs and attach your legs to his hip.
Yeah.
In any way that you can do that. So it might look like a standard ashigarami. It might look like 50-50. You know, there are specific moves already invented that pretty much encompass all the possibilities.
It sounds like how maybe jiu-jitsu was developed at first, like before there's moves.
Yeah, so that's my my thought of it is just like, well, it's like you're asking them to kind of reinvent the wheel. And the argument of it is, so there's a couple arguments about it, right? And the argument is one, like, I forgot the first one I was going to say.
Develop their own style out of it, I guess.
Yeah.
You would say that, right? But I watch, so the guy that's most outspoken about this is Greg Souders, and if you watch his students, and they do very well, but like I was watching one of them the other day, and he did like a Suluev stretch, you know, the one where you have the back and you knee bar. And I'm like, are you telling me that guy, he invented that via games that you came up with and tasks that you came and practiced? Like he was on the back.
He saw it in the UFC.
Yeah, for sure. He saw it like, that's a move. Got it. And then, you know,
watch by learning. I do a lot of that.
Yeah.
YouTube.
That's a super neat.
Although I messed up the one I was trying to do today.
But so the argument is like, okay, so it's scientifically it's more or less established within sports in general that is the more effective way to teach somebody. Like, if I was going to teach someone soccer, you wouldn't say, okay, we're going to do exactly this. Like, you pass the ball to him, this guy runs over there, and then you pass the ball to him, then he's going to go over there, this guy will be there, and then we're going to shoot it just like this, and you're going to make it in the top left of the net. You wouldn't do all that. You know what I mean? Because so much can happen in the mix that you can't have that specific of a plan. It's more like, okay, this guy's going to bring the ball downfield, and we're going to maybe set up a trap over here, and he's going to look for an open like striker in this area. I don't know anything about soccer. I just made that up.
Wow, that sounds really good, though.
Yeah, for sure.
I was
for sure.
disseminating whether you knew anything about soccer at this time.
But the thing is, and then the other thing is, so the other example they use is like a blacksmith, where they say, this is like a textbook kind of, you just hear this argument a lot. If you look at a blacksmith, if you look at a beginner blacksmith, there's very minor, like almost non-existent variation in the way that they swing their hammer, right? But there's huge variation in the results that they get. So they're like real stiff and rigid, but they can't consistently make like a beautiful whatever, you know? If you look at a really advanced one, there's huge variations in their hammer swings, but then no variation. They can consistently produce the same result because every situation is slightly different, right? Like the metal, the temperature. Like maybe they struck wrong on one, and they can kind of adjust.
Yeah.
And, so my flip side to that is one. Like in regular sports, right? Like non-combat sports.
Okay.
Jiu-jitsu like differs hugely because you have so much more control of what's going on.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like you can hold so much of the person's body.
Yeah.
Whereas like even like boxing, you know, in boxing, you kind of more learn general concepts. Just be moving your head, have the other hand up, and you know what I mean? Like those general concepts, you know? But it's not specifically like step this foot as you step this hand. Like it's not like a kata. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's more feel.
Right.
Like,
yeah. But that makes sense because a lot of it is outside of your control. So you need to like be better at adjusting, at micro adjustments in like microseconds, you know? But in jiu-jitsu, it's slower. You have more control, and it's more complicated. You know what I mean? It's like
maximum complicated. It's infinite. I really think the amount of positions and
yeah, for sure. Yeah. In you know, like the whole hammer swing thing is like, okay, nobody is teaching an armbar like okay, place this hand right here, place this hand right here. You know what I mean? And then like they're not teaching like micro adjustments. It's just like, you know, hold the wrist with two hands. You know, there's tons of variations. But hold the wrist.
Have the thumb pointing. You know?
Put your feet over there. Yeah. Make sure the elbow is in the right direction that it's going to break, and then lift your hips up. You know,
squeeze your knees.
Squeeze your knees. Yeah. But it's not. You know what I mean? It's not like if you look at a hammer swing, like what's the variation? This and this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But that's still lift your arm up and swing it down.
Right.
You know, that's the only way you can swing a hammer, you know?
Okay.
So that's my thoughts. But the idea is there's schools like popping up now that you don't teach any moves.
What?
They figure it all out. Yeah. But they guide you, right?
Yeah.
They go like they lay out like if you're going to come in for day one, and I would say, okay, you start on the bottom, you lay down, you start standing over them. Your goal is to gain control of their feet and then like get past the line of their feet. Yeah. And then your goal, bottom person, you need to don't let them control your ankles and hook your feet onto them, either with hooks or attach your feet onto them, either with hooks or with posts. Right? Because if you think about it, that's the beginning exchange of all guard situations.
Yeah.
Like don't let them control your legs and then attach your guard to them, you know?
Okay.
And I do things like that in school, especially in our school, especially when it comes to situations where there's no control, like we're not attached yet, and or situations where you're on defense, because when you're on defense, you don't have control of the position, theoretically. Right? So I'll do those games. But with these guys, I
feel like there's always a time and place for everything, but yeah.
So they're trying to say like basically moves don't exist, right? Like they don't exist because every situation is slightly different. So you're like, it's more or less an entire, like it's a waste of time or maybe even counterproductive.
I definitely don't think it's counterproductive. I don't know. I've gone to Danaher's school for a few weeks, and he's very detailed in teaching what to learn. But what makes his classes so great is the amount of detail. Like he's super detailed, like every minuscule thing. Like that I felt like my game like went up pretty well over that until I stopped training again. but
because he's not teaching moves that no one has ever seen before.
No, it's basic moves, like super basic that I've learned a million times before already. Yeah. But he just adds all these little details to it where you're like, this is a new move all of a sudden. Like, to me, it feels that way.
Yeah, for sure.
It's nuts.
I think you have to have an outline of what you can do, because if you look at like mount escape, like that's the one. If nobody gives you tips on mount escape, then you're gonna get punched in the face for years.
Yeah.
Like if they're just like, well, try and get out. Oh, I got punched in the face again a lot. A lot. And then even like Helio Gracie didn't even figure it all out, because in the end of Choke, you guys know the Choke movie, Hickson's working with Helio and he shows him the head movement, because Helio is trap an arm, trap a leg, and roll. And then he was like, no, trap an arm, trap a leg. And then you put your ear to your side, and then you can actually roll over your shoulder way easier. Mm-hmm. And he's showing him that.
This way?
Yeah.
I'm going to roll this way. If I'm going to roll to my left, my head, my ear goes to my right.
Yeah. Shoulder. And you can just roll. You wait till and then even a spontaneous stop, which is like their opposite hand, like trying to stop it, you just would crush over their opposite hand because of the angle that you're rolling at. Oh, it's incredible. It's like that
makes a lot of sense because you don't need to roll them as sideways, right? You're more rolling them almost overhead because your head is out of the way,
right? Yeah. No, it's masterful. I have a few other ones I'm still a member of Hickson's online school, and like one of my other favorite ones was I could never choke out Big Mike. You remember Big Mike? I have a friend who's 6'6", 265. He's a decent.
He's also handsome and fast.
Yeah, that's right. So, yeah, so it made me very upset all the time. And so I could never do a cross lapel choke on him. But then this is from Helio Gracie, is that if you would to get the whatever the first hand that you got on the cross lapel, and if you were to bring them down to your waist, then the other one goes over the top, and because they're at your waist, man, you could actually get the lapel choke, and that one
cross lapel choke from mount
from guard.
Huh?
You can't cross lapel choke Big Mike. You kidding me? Like that's impossible. He's a monster.
From mount?
From guard.
Guard.
Yeah,
from guard. Yeah.
Right. You'd think that was impossible, right? Sure enough. I literally learned it from Hickson's online school. Huh. I'm like, no kidding. And so you just get one and you play with it, and then you let him kind of coast over to one side. And as soon as he gets to one side, you get him down in your hips, and then you get a thumb in on the other side, and then you can pop his head off.
So you're choking him down here, like by your pocket.
It's awesome.
That makes a lot of sense. I can feel that.
Yeah, right.
In my imagination that it's strong.
Right, you can push through with that opposite forearm.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that there's like what you're saying. It's just applicable in several areas, but you need to have things to think about, and know that those things are going to go wrong, and then you apply that stuff.
Yeah.
Right. Apply your free balling is what I was going to say. Apply your your freewheeling. I
don't even know what you're going for.
No, just your what do you call it? Being able to choose the moves that you want. Just do whatever you want.
I mean, it's definitely instinct based a lot too, because like I haven't rolled a lot, like in a long time. I mean, and but today I felt pretty good. I mean, obviously I was disappointed in some aspects, but other aspects I was like, oh, I didn't do as bad as I thought I was gonna do.
Nice.
Yeah.
I was like, it's kind of stays with you even if you've been gone a long time. You come back, you still have.
If you've been training long enough,
good.
Yeah, true that too.
For sure.
I think you're past that point where it's gonna kind of always.
Yeah, it's always gonna be there with me a little bit.
I sparred the other day, first time doing striking of any, even like punching a bag.
Yeah. Nice.
First time in like, I'm gonna say 3 or 4 years. And
felt good.
Still got it.
Yeah, I was like, fuck, I remember all of this.
Yeah.
I was like, great. Slightly didn't feel as quick, just because I've done so much. All of my exercise has been isometric squeezing things. But yeah, I feel like once you get past a certain point, it's always with you. Yeah, you ever seen those videos of like real old guys?
Yeah, I was just watching one the other day. I'm like, I want to be that. Me one day. He's like 78 years old and he's like popping the bag. I'm
yeah. And you could tell, you could see the you can see that he's old, but you can also see that's just in his DNA. Like the way he does a punch, it still has snap. It still uses,
I felt it. A friend of mine is one of his good friends is when he was 18, he was the Moscow boxing champion. And so he's been doing it forever, but now he's in his like 50s. And he was like, we were all getting together a few months ago, and he was like, just hold the pads for him. We just hold the pads for him. I'm like, I don't want to do it. And just do it. And I'm like, all right, fine. And I think he made him hold the pads for me first. And I thought, I got a little hip twist. I didn't think it's too bad, but it was pure garbage compared to him. And he's like not in that good a shape or anything. And when he would hit the pads that I was holding, and my friend was telling me too, like he'll knock you out. Like he could knock out if he got into trouble, he would easily knock a stranger out. And I felt it, and I was like, wow. I mean, it is something that is just ingrained, that his big toe twitches and then it just comes out of his legs and just like he stomps. I have no idea how it works, but his whole weight is behind these punches that are so short and so fast. It's
Sweet
some
science,
body mechanics that you need to ingrain in you. I guess jiu-jitsu is kind of similar to that. I feel like I'm to that point because, 25 years, I can close my eyes and just do jiu-jitsu and it feels good. And as long as I don't get too tired,
when you imagine it.
Yeah. When I imagine it.
When you get too tired, when you close your...
when I'm rolling.
When you close your eyes and you're physically doing it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought you meant... Because do you ever just do a roll in your head? Like, not a whole roll, but you're like...
100%.
You do a position and you're like, it probably seems like this is... Maybe it's like sometimes I'll replay a roll that I had earlier, and I'm like, and I'll be doing it, and I'm like, oh yeah, I should have done this.
Oh, of course,
you know what I mean? Yeah.
Of course,
but like you can like discover, not like, oh, I fucked up, I left my arm out, but you're like, okay, this person caught me in this. How can I escape that next time? You can kind of keep all of the necessary information in your head, and you're like, oh, this is probably the way to go next time to escape,
Right.
How about John Jones when he was saying that he was having nightmares of Quentin Jackson knocking him out? You heard that one?
No.
So he couldn't stop. Like he was about to fight Quentin Jackson. Quentin Jackson's pretty good. He's the man, And
especially when they hyped it up at that time.
Come on, Quentin Jackson versus Vanderlei Silva. That is the classic stuff of all time.
Yeah, he was a beast back in the day.
Dude, he's in his early 20s.
In the Pride days,
destroyed Chuck Liddell.
Yeah, Quentin Jackson's the man. So he could easily knock John Jones out if the situation happened in the right way. But so he was like, I'd go to sleep, and he was like, he'd knock me out with a straight right cross. I'd go to sleep the next night, he'd knock me out with an uppercut. And so he said he couldn't figure out what to do. And so it wasn't until he stepped in the cage when he decided to do that he got low and did like the Spider-Man crawl to him. And he said he just came up with that in the moment because he was like, if I do that, the dream's not gonna come true.
Was the dream always in like the first few seconds or something?
The first few
it comes out and then
seconds.
Boom. I was like, well, if I'm down here,
nope,
that's illegal.
So awesome.
It was cool when he did it. It was really cool.
Yeah. When you just crawled out
so
to him. I know, and then Quentin's even kind of like high up too.
Fuck, what am I supposed to do with this?
He did. You can't. That's a dumb UFC rule.
Can't kick him.
You can't
do
knee him. Yeah, you can't even knee him to the face. You should be able to knee him to the face with their hands down.
I don't know.
You don't think so?
Well, I used to think it was a fucked up rule to have knee to the ground opponent, but then I've been watching more ONE FC, and then Demetrius Johnson overcame it, because he lost to that.
Did
Andre, he? What's his name?
He lost to knees to the face when they were down?
Yeah, yep. And then, it makes sense. He hadn't been in that rule set forever.
Wasn't used to
it, lost to it, but then, sure enough,
he overcame
it, had a rematch a couple times with the same guy, and then,
that Peter Yan one, though?
What?
Oh, yeah.
He almost dies, the opponent.
Yeah.
That was blatant, against the rules. UFC doesn't have the same rule set, so.
Yeah, I guess. Who was the receiver? Yeah.
But that was
he was not really I don't know. Yeah, but he had to have neck surgery.
Oh, did he?
It clearly snapped his neck. Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he broke his vertebrae.
Jeez,
that. With a knee? I never saw this one.
Yeah.
But you don't think it should be legal?
I didn't know he had that surgery.
You might be able to say the reason why it was so brutal is because Aljo in his head was like, I'm not about to get kneed.
Yeah, you can't hit me here. I hate that style, where they take advantage of that. I'm touching the mat. You can't knee me.
Well,
I don't think it wasn't that situation though. It wasn't that. He wasn't I think he got dropped, right? He was dropped, but he was on a knee, or maybe there was a grappling exchange. And he was Aljo was on his knees, and then Piotr clinched him or something. It's been so long since I've seen it.
It's been a while, yeah.
Clinched him, and then I think he yells to his coach in Russian, "Can I knee him?" And he's like, "Yeah."
But he couldn't. It was illegal.
Yeah. Oh, he was on down on his knees, not.
But that's in UFC, right?
This is in the UFC.
Oh,
you didn't see this?
Right. No, I don't remember.
Oh man, everyone hated Aljo briefly because he won the title via no, I can't continue.
Yeah, and at first I thought he won it nicely. He didn't like in the post-fight interview, he was like, "Nah, I don't consider myself a champ because I won this way." But then, like
He
a few days
celebrated
later,
the shit out of it,
he just
yeah.
celebrated the shit out of it. Like, what
He
happened?
was posting like videos of his belt, and it was kind of like, you should have kept going with the like, you know, the way you were. Like, remember when Anthony Smith was fighting John Jones, and it was the same thing. It was the same thing. Like he took an illegal knee, and if Anthony Smith had just said like, nope, can't continue, he would have been the champ.
Right.
And then he was like, he said to the ref, he's like, I'm not going to win like that. Like, and he got up and he just fucking took another 10 minutes of beating and was never the champ, you know? But I feel like it won him more clout.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Or
more
hype.
respect.
Doing that than to just,
For sure.
you know.
Because
I don't know, it's just a
honestly,
stupid rule.
But if you think, if he had a win bonus, I mean, that could have cost him $250,000.
What do you mean?
You know, like if his like a title challenger, I'm guessing, but they probably don't get millions. It's probably 200K.
Yeah, okay.
You know, 200 to show, 200 to win.
Mm-hmm.
So if he had taken that, if he had won via DQ, he would have gotten another 200K. You know, I kind of think that I kind of remember. This might not be true at all. I vaguely remember Dana saying like, we'll give him some extra. Because he was like a man about it, you know.
I say play the rules because there's so many stupid rules. I think you should have just played the rules.
Dude, if I got kneed, an illegal knee from John Jones,
because was he defending it? He probably wasn't defending it because
he wasn't. No,
right, because he knew the rules.
Right.
So if the rules were different, then he would be like defending it profusely.
But I think the thing was like he was like, but yes, but it wasn't like that strike made the difference. Like he was losing his ass like all the way up until that moment.
And did he just drop down to hold it, or was it just clearly?
I don't remember. Yeah, I don't remember. But it wasn't like he was doing the like up down like he was legitimately down.
Monetary wise, it makes sense to take the fall. But
oh man, I think I don't know.
He's a fighter.
Yeah, but it's the heels that kind of make the most money. So he should have taken the win and be like, in your face! Fuck you! That's right. Like,
another DQ on your record.
Dude, I'm unbeatable. Nobody can touch me.
That would be amazing. I mean, to me, it's all about the show. I want the DQ master. Who's ever the master of DQs. Yeah. Like, as soon as you throw it to him, he
wins everything.
He just puts one hand down every time you throw at him. It's like, look at this. Because there's
so many behind 10 wins and 0 losses coming by way of 9 DQs.
I want him to exist because there's so many too. There's so many hits to the back of the head. I mean, that's a fucking DQ. Yeah. Like,
no, but if you get hit in the back of the head because you turn your head, you turn your head, it's not. It's on you.
I want the DQ master.
Dude, I got DQ'd once because the guy.
You did.
He went in for a takedown and hit my knee. Like, it actually wasn't even my knee. It was like the top of my shin, but from the camera angle and I guess the ref angle. Right? Yeah, I was throwing a teep. A straight kick like right up the middle. I was aiming for his liver, but I throw it in a way where my kind of knee leaves, you know. Mm-hmm. And he went for a takedown at the same time, so I'm like, that's his fault. Like, he dove into my like upper shin area, but the ref, everyone else from the angle, it looked like it was my knee, so he DQ'd me. I had a mark on my shin, and I was like, look, ref, here's the mark right here. He's like, oh, it was too close to the knee. I'm like, that's bullshit. Like,
wow.
But I mean, it's an amateur ref.
Yeah, but either way, like, it should have been no contest at the least.
Should have been no contest. Yeah.
I got DQ'd for biting somebody one time.
Fuck yeah.
For number one, for the last round of the tournament, for the first place. Somebody I shot in, and then they did a weak guillotine, and they got a finger in my mouth.
Yeah, they got stuck.
But the moment that they put their finger in my mouth, I was driving forward. So you know what you do when you drive forward? You grind
down.
And so the finger in my mouth, and I bit on that thing like it was a carrot or like a piece of celery, and I just hear it like crunch.
Oh my god!
Yeah, then he screams, and they're like, it's, "You can't do that." I'm like I meant to do that. Yeah. But then I did bite somebody later again on accident, and
you're like, all right.
I don't know if
that one was on me.
This is the next tournament I did. It was for first place again. I've won 4 matches or 3, and this is my 4th one. And this dude armbarred me, and I started to bite his calf, and then I tapped out after I started biting his calf.
You intentionally tried to?
Yeah, I started biting his calf.
How do you feel about that?
I mean, I tapped out. I tapped out after.
So you were like, I'm gonna tap, but I just want to get something in here.
Well, no. Like when I realized that full animal mode had taken over, I was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry."
So it wasn't. So you feel like you didn't make like a conscious decision?
I mean,
did you see red?
I mean, that's the only way I win.
That's never happened to me. Like I've heard that so many times. I just see red.
I don't
like,
feel like it's like
what is that? I've never seen
biologically
red.
like possible. Like
Yeah, I've got so many street fights when I was a kid. I've never seen
your
red.
blood
like,
pressure
what
is so high that it like fills your eyesight.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
You never bitten anyone? Come on.
Never. Well, you know what I do? What I do?
my brother, but
You what?
I did headbutt
As a
my brother
child,
when I
or
was
as an
yeah.
adult?
He's 5 years older than me, so I was a kid.
That's
like,
fair.
Yeah, it's all like it was the only move I had. he was like bear hugging me from like behind me.
Yeah.
And I couldn't get loose, and I just jumped up like.
Oh, the
Yeah,
back headbutt.
back
Respect.
got me loose, and then I went running.
Dude, that works like anytime there's like a badass chick in like a fight scene movie.
Yeah.
That's in every time. You know?
Back
That's the
headbutt?
one.
Yeah, the back headbutt for
back
sure, or
headbutt.
like the back heel to the groin.
Yeah.
Back the old heel stomp to the toes.
Yeah.
That's
I don't
Who was
know.
it,
I
always
think
works.
the toes would work.
When Marcelo Garcia was backpacking,
Marcelo Garcia's my favorite.
Me too.
Like,
Yeah.
when he got slammed.
Yeah. And he
Rico
won via
Rodriguez.
DQ. Marcelo Garcia is your hero,
He
dude.
didn't win DQ.
I thought
No,
he kept
they
going.
kept going, right?
Slammed and then
No, they kept
They
going.
took a break though.
He took him out.
a break though, right?
They took a break and he kept going. And I want to say maybe he won on a decision. It wasn't even that good, or maybe one with a heel hook. But yeah, he did win that one. Rico Rodriguez.
Wait,
but
Rico
Were slams
won it?
not allowed at that
I
time?
think it was Rico Rodriguez.
Slams are not allowed now.
No.
Oh, they're not. In ADCC?
You're only allowed to slam in an effort to escape a submission.
Oh,
So like
he
if
just
you're
had
in a
backpack.
triangle, you can like lift him up and slam him,
So
but
him
you
having
can't
his
just
back
slam
wasn't
him.
enough.
Yeah, which is such an arbitrary rule. Like you're not allowed to like take someone down and slam them, but if you're in an armbar, you can pick them up and slam them back down.
I can see adding that rule to the open weight.
Yeah,
You know, like
Yeah. I mean, you saw what happened.
Right,
He was
right.
on the floor. Like,
I feel like on mats, on jiu-jitsu mats, slams just should not be allowed, man.
we're gonna add Marcel Garcia in our.
what if they have one of those like elevated platforms with the tires underneath?
That makes sense. That's but they don't have that ever.
Yeah,
in
no, they don't.
competition.
Yeah.
I tried to slam in my last fight to win.
But they encourage it.
It was the last. I know it was
Yeah.
super fun.
Yeah.
But I realized, oh god, fuck how heavy the guys are.
It takes a lot of energy.
I'm in heavyweight. I'm in the heavyweight black belt class.
Yeah.
Like I tried. He wouldn't let me out of guard or something. I just wrapped up his gi and lifted him up and tried to just bash him.
Yeah, he like overhooked you, close guard, kind of hold you down.
Yeah. Just one of the hold down action.
Yeah. I was in your corner and I was yelling, "Slam him!"
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
Because they
That's right.
score. It's a great rule set. They score.
Yeah.
It's like submission only, and then or it's judge's decision based on submission attempts and slams.
and slams.
And
Those are like
slams.
the only two.
That's it.
Scoring
They
criteria.
give you a 1 point for slams, 1 point for submission attempts.
Dude,
They were weak slams though.
I really
wish
want to
were
do
better.
that because
Oh, you should.
because
Next time they come to
I'm
town,
a
you do
slammer.
it. Let me
Yeah.
get in the
in the corner.
Yeah.
All right. And
Oh my God.
I just want to build an entire game plan just on various slamming
Various
positions.
slamming
Oh,
Because they're
that's
only
amazing.
how long are the matches?
Yeah. Oh, nothing. They're 6
6
minutes,
right?
Yeah,
Dude, I could in only one match I could slam someone all day.
And nobody
I had a
knows
slam
that we would come
so
in.
my first MMA fight,
Yeah.
first one.
Oh my God.
I knocked it's my only knockout. I knocked the guy out with like a liver kick.
Did you
Gotta love
respect?
the liver kicks.
Yeah.
Friend of the podcast, Boss Rutan.
Yeah.
Oh, you got that from his student.
Was it Dwayne?
From
Ludwig?
Dwayne. Yeah, I hit him with a switch cross hook and kick to the
Nice.
body. You know?
Perfect.
And then, so I hit him with the liver kick, and he was like balled up, and then I finished him with punches.
Nice.
Anyways, other than that, I have one slam in pretty much every fight, at least one slam.
Yeah?
I would get in the cage, pick him up, walk over to my corner, and then just slam him there, and then talk to my coach.
That's the move right there.
Yeah. It's like,
That's a great move.
it's great. It feels good.
Yeah.
It really takes.
Have you ever tried the? So I watched Quentin Jackson's old footage recently, and then he gets the clinch around the waist, but then he goes under he goes under the legs.
Get some more elevation.
And that's his little, that's his little sign, because he wants to rotate you and slam you on your dome.
Yeah.
And then I think when they realized that was his thing, because for some reason they always put him up against like no-name Japanese guys. I don't know why they did that at the beginning, but as soon as he would go under, they would be like, "Oh no!" But he would just do it again. He would just do it again, and sometimes he'd get him again. They all seem very durable, all Sakuraba style.
Yeah. Slams are fun, dude. Especially in a cage, because they have there's usually cages have 2 layers of plywood. So when you slam on a cage, there's a big loud clack. You know,
yes,
back, and it echoes.
That's what we're doing. I want to corner you I'll practice. Well, I'll watch you practice with someone else. We'll just
walk out with T-shirts that say Slam City. Just
Dude, do you remember that guy that in that same show that you were on, and the only defining characteristic of him was we talked about him having like a big old booty. Do you remember that guy? We're like, yo, this guy is so caked. It was hilariously like his build was so strange. It was like Brazilian chicks that have fake butts. It was like their leg build is skinny, but they still somebody. But man, I feel like you remember him because he acted. I don't know what he really is like, but he acted like such a douche.
Did he?
And I think his last name was Crane, maybe.
All cake, huh?
And he came out and like I feel like he did like the whole like mid-match shirt removal. I think that's why we hated him. That's what it was. Like it was like I could be wrong, and he probably listens to this podcast because a lot of people do.
Right.
So if he's listening, I might be wrong, but I feel like there was something about him. We're like, oh fuck this guy. It was like he was having a match.
Some people got that face, you know.
He was having a match that wasn't even particularly exciting. And then like mid-match, he kind of did like a walk away, stripped the shirt off, and then came back, and we're like,
Oh, come on. And if he did have that face, there's levels. There's like...
I don't remember what his face looked like. I only looked at his ass.
Here are the levels to the resting bitch face, though. It goes resting bitch face, and then it goes Jake Shields.
Jake Shields?
Yeah.
Really?
Have you ever seen him just standing there? Oh, no. It's brutal. He's
the only other guy I heard say he uses American Jiu Jitsu.
He does use American. I mean, respect to Jake Shields, but he does have a resting bitch face. And even when and I always kind of thought that he trained in San Francisco when I was living in San Francisco, and I'm like, man, why does his face make me mad? It like makes me mad when I see his just resting face. And then I'll never forget when Conor was fighting Conor McGregor. He was like Conor had Nate and they had their crew over there, and Conor was over there, and he was like talking to Nate, and he like kind of looked around, and then he was like, and then what? And he started looking at Jake Shields.
Yeah,
Jake Shields was like mad dogging him,
but he wasn't. He was just standing there.
He was just standing there looking normal. Conor McGregor was like, no, don't you dare look like that. It makes me so mad.
I had that happen to me once.
Really?
Where somebody was yelling at somebody that I was with. Yeah. But we were no joke on Sea-Doos. We were at a lake. So I was like, well, this is not going to turn into anything.
Yeah. Okay.
No one's going to fight. So I'm like, I have no job role here. So I was just like kind of blank face staring. Yeah. And then he looked at me. He was like, "What? You want to fight me?" And I was like,
"What? We're on
He got me so off guard. I was
water,
like,
bro.
What? I was just watching this.
That's really funny because you have a gorgeous smile.
It happens.
But
I didn't give it to him.
Let's see your resting. Let's see your resting face. Show the camera your resting face. Let's take a look at it. No, show the camera though. You got to look at just rest and look at the camera and let's see.
I don't know if I can.
Why? No, just rest. Just relax.
Just relax.
Just your regular face. Just be kind of sad. You can't even sad.
You want to be kind of sad?
Kind of sad.
Think of something. You remember when your dog died one time? Yeah, think about it.
I can't.
That's not a resting bitch face. Though. That's just a resting sad face.
That's a resting sad face.
That's not resting. That's an actively sad face.
Yeah,
you get to Costco and it's hard to park. There's so many people there. Just let's see that face.
Bro, just overwhelmed.
I can't do it, dude.
I figure that's resting bitch face. You're not really sad, but you're just like, God damn it. It's going to be so hard to get that shrimp I like.
And then Jake Shields feels that at all times.
Yeah, I was saying, Jake Shields just like chronically frustrated or something.
I don't know what it is. Pull up a picture of Jake
Just
Shields.
he spends his whole life like, fuck, I was just almost champion. Goddamn GSP.
He really was. So many opportunities.
He was like Ben Stiller in the in Dodgeball. You know, he's all fat. Spare me. I won that tournament.
I don't think he's quite as evil. Ben Stiller was super evil.
Shocking his nipples with pizza in his pants.
That movie and Heavyweights both.
I was just about to say, it's funny because Heavyweights is under the radar. No one remembers Heavyweights anymore.
What? It has no really. That's sad.
It's just like a generation before.
Yeah,
or not a generation, like a decade before.
Yeah, I'm old.
Dude, I love it. But yeah, he plays the same character.
35.
He's the same guy.
Are you really?
He's the same character. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Just super fit dude and the douche.
Yeah.
I've never seen it. Heavyweights? I've never even seen it.
Really?
Yeah.
But it wouldn't be good to watch now.
Probably not. They never.
It's a kids movie. Like,
he's like a school
a Disney Channel
counselor.
movie.
Goes to this fat camp. You know, all the kids are fat, overweight, eating candy all the time, and he's this super fit guy that comes in. He's gonna whip you guys into shape.
Really?
You know,
it's like
his first role. Do you remember his first role?
Was that his first role?
No. Do you remember? Well, I thought his first role was the Adam Sandler joint when he had the handlebar mustache.
What movie was that? I remember. I can picture his character.
When he brought his mom to the Happy Gilmore.
Happy Gilmore. Yeah, he plays like the nurse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You better. Oh, he's got so many good lines in there. He was like, the one, my favorite is when Grandma was like, I could use something. He was like, could you get me some warm milk? And he was like, what did he say? No, I'm sorry. That was one of the lines. The next line. The next line was one of the ladies was making quilts, and he was like, and she was like, my fingers hurt. He was like, oh, your fingers hurt? Now your back's gonna hurt because you just pulled landscaping duty.
Oh yeah, that's a classic.
You remember that one?
Yeah.
Thank you. What was the other one though? When she wanted some warm milk.
I don't remember.
You remember that?
I remember
because you said it and like popped in my head. That's a classic line.
It lost me.
You just pulled landscaping.
Yeah, that's right.
Man, Adam Sandler. What bad movies he makes now.
Bad movies?
I don't know if it's bad or we've just grown out of them. Like maybe it's the same type of humor, but it just doesn't funny. It doesn't stand up no more. You don't think?
Like
that's some 35-year-old talk.
Big Daddy was funny.
I can't believe you're 35. You look like you're 22.
I know, right?
That's how I pull them.
That's crazy.
Big Daddy is like what. Like what? I remember watching that.
It's a great movie.
Yeah, it is. It's amazing. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. He's saying is like maybe he always
Click
made.
was good, but it wasn't like funny. It was like dramatic.
I cried every time.
Yeah, super
Click
good.
was such a great movie.
It was funny. Yeah, but like
name one bad movie.
What?
One bad Adam Sandler movie.
Sandler?
Yeah.
Oh, recent ones?
All the Netflix ones.
Oh, dude,
not one.
Murder Mystery and Murder Mystery 2 for some fucking reason. He made that movie like Jack and Jill, I think, where he plays himself and his sister, and it's so bad. Good, yeah.
I watched Murder Mystery on my phone as I drove somewhere. So
was it funny?
Yeah, it's great.
No, it wasn't.
I mean, it's better than driving.
Great. Okay, well that's not great.
I don't think Murder Mystery was that bad, but yeah, the Jack and Jill one was really
good.
He's made some bad ones.
Yeah, he's definitely made some bad ones.
Did you see the basketball one that he made? That one's actually pretty damn good.
I liked it.
Was it?
Oh yeah.
It's like he's like a talent scout for the NBA. And he like discovers he discovers like a young handsome talent that surprise has a dark past. You know, it's like a pretty.
I'm not sure if I've seen that.
Pretty overly made storyline.
I know a lot of people did not like the basketball Will Ferrell movie, but I thought that shit was funny. I don't know.
Really?
Semi-pro?
Yeah, semi-pro. I thought it was funny, and nobody likes it, but I thought it was funny.
I don't remember it at all.
Yeah.
I was thinking about that the other day. Where I was, me and my wife always complain like, oh, they don't make good movies anymore. And I remember my parents saying that when I was young, when what I would consider being like the heyday of movies. Yeah, and I feel like what it is I just like the younger you are, the more easily entertained you are, and I could just watch fucking Triple X
Dynamite.
State of the Union and be like, "Fuck yeah, Ice Cube is so good."
What? Yeah, that movie was trash. I never liked that movie when it first came out. I never
Really?
liked that movie. Yeah,
I'm an Ice Cube fan.
but I did like the first one, and then I rewatched it, and it's horrible.
It's real bad, but I loved it. When I was a kid, when I was in junior high, I thought it was so fucking sick.
Me too. I thought it was badass.
I remember being in junior high. And this girl that I liked, we were kind of talking to her, like whatever. And her parents knew about me because I would call the house, Then she had a birthday party, and she was like, "Well, my parents would feel weird about you coming over because they know because that we like each other or whatever." And so we like made up a name for me, right? So I was not that kid, and I was like, she was like, "What are you gonna do?" I was like, "Xander."
That's great. Xander Cage.
I was 12 years old. Yeah. Imagine,
Oh my god,
dude. Imagine now.
wow.
Like, there's so many dumb shit that like my 11, 12-year-old students say to me or say to each other that I know that they think they're being cool, and I'm like, God, you guys are such fucking idiots. In a great way. I love all of them, but it's like they remind me of myself, right? Yeah. But I imagine being your age, right? Or maybe older.
Dude, I was dumb all the way into my 20s. Like, like Boondock Saints came out, and I was like, bro, that tattoo on the hand is badass.
Dude, Boondock Saints is amazing.
Yeah.
It's a great movie. But don't get a tattoo there.
Quick sidebar. Have you seen that Instagram reel with Willem Dafoe? And it's like they caption it as like when my friend's job calls me as a reference, and it's Willem Dafoe talking about his character, and he's like, well, he's gay, but he has a special connection to classical music.
Of course, group chat. Boys send that all the time.
But anyways, imagine being your age, right, or older, and having a daughter, and then some boy comes over and, oh, nice to meet you, and he's like, my name's Xander Cage. He's like, oh my god, get the fuck out of my house.
Oh my gosh, yeah, that's wild. That's hilarious.
All right, guys, well, I'm out of time.
Yep.
I gotta teach those aforementioned kids.
I'm sure they're not listening. So
What's that?
I'm sure they're not listening.
I just saw some thing the other day talking about it was good to get kids like after they're 5 years old, because like with 3 to 5 they're not really listening, they're just having fun, right, kind of thing. And if you want them to do jiu-jitsu, like I guess the Gracies have like some game they can play.
That's all we do. That's all we do with 3 and 4 year olds is they're just playing. They play the Gracie games. Yeah,
super fun.
That's awesome.
And they work well. I play them with Avery. She knows she'll lay on her back, play guard, and like if I come up, she'll put her feet on me and fix her hips and push me away.
Oh really?
And then
what
she'll.
game is that?
It's called Crazy Legs.
Crazy Legs. Okay.
So like she'll lay on her back,
cool.
and so there's 2 games that we play, but we call them both Crazy Legs just because they're really similar. So there's one called Zombie Guard, and you like walk at them like a zombie, right, from different directions. And if you can touch their brain, because zombies try to eat the brain, you can touch their brain, they lose. So they have to keep their feet on you and control your hands and push you away at a distance. And if they get too close, Avery can't do this part, but if they get too close, they grab your ankles and they double ankle sweep you.
Right.
You know?
Wow.
That's cool.
And then
cool.
Crazy Legs is like the adult, because all these Gracie games are designed for adults to play with kids.
Yeah, I don't remember those ones. I remember a lot of them though. I mean, we used to play Crazy Horse and like
Crazy Horse. Yeah, we call that
Sleeping
rodeo.
Crocodile.
Yeah, we do that one too. Yeah, we call it alligator wrestling. Same thing. Yeah, but like the Crazy Legs would be like I'm laying on my back and my legs are going crazy, right? Like and then they have to get control of the legs and then throw them to the side and then get to side mount.
That's awesome.
Crazy Legs was my attack against my older brother when I was young.
Just flail.
Flail your legs while you're on your back. Get away from me.
There you go.
I'll headbutt you again.
That's how Henzo knocked out Olaf Tektarov.
It works.
Flailing his legs around?
Yeah, he knocked him out from the bottom.
Oh yeah, nice.
Up kick.
Yeah.
Pow.
All right, let's wrap it up. What's the name of this podcast? Post Rolls
Jiu-Jitsu podcast.
Jiu-Jitsu podcast.
And we're going to stick in some of your favorite, if this airs before we finish the intro, stick in your favorite jiu-jitsu excerpts. I was thinking a good one too, and we might even end the intro. We got to get Jocko going good.
Oh,
Like that
yeah.
at the end.
Oh yeah, we do. Yeah.
But just all our, we're massive jiu-jitsu fans, and so everybody that's into it, I think it would be cool too that if we took people in the neighborhood here in San Diego, if we took like little clips of just, it's going to be very short, and it'll be fun too. We'll see how long it takes me to put it together, but we'll take like single words even and maybe put together something fun. And then if somebody knows all of them, if someone without any prompting would know all of them, then like that would be.
But if we just take people from the neighborhood, how?
What do you mean?
No, like
from
from
San Diego. I say the
around
neighborhood,
San
but I mean
Diego,
San Diego.
You think that, like, and you're saying like they'd recognize their voice?
I would recognize Keenan Cornelius, Andre Gaval,
I think
Jocko.
we need an intro faster than that would take.
Then that would take? No, if you took all those people and made a sentence, that's what I'm saying. Like words, and you make a sentence out of it, or just like I'm literally talking about 8-second intro.
So you're saying like drive around and be like, I need to record a sentence of you talking and then put it all together?
Silly
Something
goose.
that's
I'm
on
talking about
YouTube or
favorite
something.
sayings.
They have a saying on there.
I'm talking about pulling. Yeah, no, we're not.
I mean, I vote just put a highlight together of famous sentences. That sounds confusing
That's
to me,
what I'm
but you're more
saying.
creative than I am, so I trust you.
We'll see what happens.
All right, so Post Rolls Jiu-Jitsu podcast. We're on YouTube, and we'll put it on Spotify and all that stuff soon, so just search for it. Nick Angeloni 155 on Instagram. Miles Lucas.
Yep.
Go ahead, do your thing.
That's it. Breath.fitness. What do you show us? Thanks for coming today. Our first guest.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
No, thanks
Yeah.
for having me. It's
Yeah.
great.
Did we
Talking about
intro you?
movies and
Did we
stuff.
even tell anyone
Not
your
a
name?
big intro. We just said Sergio.
Okay.
and
That's
that's
it.
like I'm here.
That's
Yeah.
enough. That
That's
sums
enough.
it up.
Sergio Benitez on Instagram.
Lifelong martial artist,
Yeah,
retired firefighter and veteran.
Yeah, true. Everyone has a story. It's good.
We should have talked about that.
But no, we didn't get into your story.
Yeah, we just got
Talk
into
about
like
jiu-jitsu.
movies and stuff, but it was fun. It was cool. They don't know nothing about me, but
So nobody listens to this, by the way, and only the two of us that eventually will get to it. So we didn't want to waste your story then, because it's going to be more
when
exciting.
it grows out. I'll say
When we
it
have a
next
following,
time.
we'll bring
Yeah.
you back on.
Every time Joe has Rhonda Patrick on, it's like a brand new introduction and stuff.
That's true.
I get it.
That's true.
Yeah.
You are our Rhonda Patrick.
Yeah, you never know when they're gonna have a new person. So
All right. That's it. Peace.
peace.